Me and Puff had said a long time ago that if anything ever go down, don't tell nobody my name in the whole. I said, yo, he sure did. He said, yeah. He said, Big gotta die? He said, yo, he said Big.
Buckle up, folks, as we dive deeper into one of hip-hop's most debated mysteries. Now, many conspiracy theories have swirled around 2Pac's murder since that fateful night in September 1996. And here comes Suge Knight, who, in a series of interviews straight from prison, began to reveal everything he witnessed in the 90s and early 2000s. And believe me, it seems like many heads will roll now.
Plagued rapper and actor Tupac Shakur is dead at the age of 25, just about a week after sustaining 4 bullet wounds last Saturday night in Las Vegas.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to Celeb Live Channel. News in the hip-hop world has taken a shocking twist. Former gang member Keefe D dropped a bombshell when he alleged that music mogul Diddy offered him a cool $1 million to orchestrate hits on rap behemoths Tupac Shakur and Suge Knight. While Keefe D says he didn't take the bait, the rap realm is reeling. One can't help but ask, why would Diddy do that? What's really going on behind the scenes? Seems like the puzzle pieces of this saga are starting to fall into place.
To my homies, Southside's up here. My homies that was at 662, everybody had their guns. We knew it was gonna be something.
As it turns out, Keefe D, the prime suspect in 2Pac's murder case, decided to dish out even more juicy tidbits about that tragic night and Diddy's supposed offer. According to Keefe, he was all in for that violent altercation, with the shimmer of that promised $1 million clearly in sight. But alas, that bag of money was never handed over to him. As Keefe puts it, it was supposed to be $1 million that Puff was supposed to bring back, but he ended up keeping the money, buying a nightclub with it. Never got any money. You never get anything. The drama doesn't end there. Keefe's narrative deepens with claims that Diddy was well aware of the gang's arms shortage. In a candid revelation, Keefe recalls, I said I was just going to get some bread from Puff to get us some guns, because they kept on raiding our houses, taking our guns, and there were informants that were listening to this whole conversation. Makes you wonder, right? Was Diddy more entangled in these gang affairs than he'd like us to believe? But this story has recently been continued. Not only did Keefe D himself add new details in a new interview, but Suge Knight himself went public and decided to tell new details in another interview from prison, apparently after Keefe D's words that he could become another victim of Diddy. Jumping right back into the whirlwind of revelations and accusations surrounding 2Pac's murder, Dwayne Keefe's perspective on the September 13, 1996 event is startling. According to him, the shooting spree began out of a simple misunderstanding. Keefe claims, you said that as you're driving up towards the BMW with Suge driving and 2Pac in the passenger seat. According to D, the shooting began when Keefe noticed Tupac withdrawing something from his pocket and mistook it for a pistol. Talk about misjudging a situation, right?
Did you actually see a gun?
Oh, shit. Once you got the region, I got the ducking.
So someone from your car
That's what happened.
started shooting at Tupac and Suge.
Now, get this. Keefe was actually in the same car, the white Cadillac, during the entire ordeal. While he's been tight-lipped about any other accomplices, he did drop a bombshell by identifying the shooter as none other than his nephew, Orlando Anderson.
Thought he was dead.
So Orlando shot across Dre?
He leaned over on the window, we rolled down the window, popped.
Let's add another layer to this already convoluted tale. Reggie Wright Jr., another player in the drama, is spinning the yarn further. He opines on Diddy's rumored involvement, saying from people around Pac during that time, was that Pac was just concerned because, Stretch knew some of those other guys, and he was kind of relaying information? Now, there's a theory making rounds, with some supporters feeling Reggie is sitting on a bigger chunk of information. A supporter candidly claims, I feel like this guy has a lot more information he's not telling us. And who could forget Suge, right beside 2Pac when the bullets rang out, yet his lips have remained sealed about the identity of the shooter. As Cat Williams said, I'm pretty sure Suge knows who shot Suge. If the police say nobody shot him, I believe nobody shot him. And if nobody shot him, then that's the same nobody that shot Tupac. Cryptic, right? When cornered about the rumors of his knowledge, Suge was all bravado, replying, hey, absolutely not.
Suge looks over, he sees you.
Yeah.
He looks right at you.
Yeah, he looked at me.
But here's where the narrative takes an intriguing twist. Suge, currently behind bars, has started singing a different tune. Perhaps inspired by Keefe D's revelations, Suge appears less apprehensive. Despite the many threats and reports of attacks against him in prison, Suge seems more willing to spill the beans, especially about Diddy. Now, Suge has been known to stir the pot. Back in the 90s, the rivalry between East Coast and West Coast rappers was heated. It was also a well-known fact that Diddy, then known as Puff Daddy, was one of the prominent figures representing the East Coast, whereas 2Pac, under the label Death Row Records co-founded by Suge, represented the West. 2Pac's death in '96, followed by the murder of East Coast rapper Biggie Smalls, also known as Notorious B.I.G., 6 months later, intensified this rivalry. Suge suggested in an interview that Diddy stood to gain from this feud, both financially and in terms of street credibility. After the tragic events, Bad Boy Records, led by Diddy, soared in the music charts. In the aftermath of Tupac's death, records like I'll Be Missing You by Diddy, Faith Evans, and 112, a tribute to Biggie, topped the Billboard charts for weeks, leading to significant revenue generation. Diddy's star-studded music videos and platinum records could be seen as a testament to his financial success in the wake of the tragedies.
Yeah, savage! I'm a savage! Oh! I'm a savage! Whatever I want, I'm going to get! Whatever I want, I have to get!
Moreover, with the demise of his rival Tupac, Diddy solidified his position in the East Coast rap scene, enhancing his street credibility. His label Bad Boy Records dominated the music industry, signing more artists and releasing multiple successful albums. Suge accuses Diddy of capitalizing on the vacuum left by Tupac, cementing his place at the top of the hip-hop hierarchy. The mogul, once a prominent player in the 90s East-West rivalry, went on to build a diverse business empire spanning music production, clothing, and spirits, turning adversity into a path paved with gold.
Check this out, we don't talk about things that are nonsense. We don't even entertain nonsense, my brother.
And that's not all. Shortly after the demise of Tupac, Bad Boy Records introduced a fresh wave of talent that took the hip-hop world by storm. Mace, an artist under Diddy's wing, released his debut album, Harlem World, in 1997. It debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200 chart, selling over 270,000 copies in its first week. With Tupac no longer in the scene, Mace quickly became one of the most prominent faces of hip-hop, further solidifying Bad Boy's grip on the industry. Suge often highlighted this rapid ascent of artists under Diddy's label as convenient timing, insinuating that the removal of major competition like Tupac paved the way for these new artists.
My life is sometimes you have to really go with that decision in your gut.
The impacts of Tupac Shakur's tragic end were far-reaching, rippling out to shake both the underground scene and the political sphere. Tupac's demise and the following homicides became a dark enigma, a convoluted web sprawling its strands deep into Lay's shadowy underworld. This muddled scenario created a dense fog around the investigation, obscuring the truth. Talks about political interference weren't just whispers in the corners. They had a firm grip on the case. As per some Vegas cops, the detective work was stiff, armed by unnamed authorities who didn't want the Tupac case to turn into a media frenzy like the O.J. Simpson trial. They alleged the powers that be informed us that the city did not require an O.J.-style circus. The pressure finally cracked the case open when Valletta Wallace, Biggie's mother, brought a hefty lawsuit against the Lapt. Citing an inadequate investigation into her son's murder, she demanded a jaw, dropping $500 million. This high-stakes game of legal tug-of-war made the Lapt sit up straight, prompting a deeper dive into the complex case. In this labyrinth of accusations and mysteries, Faith Evans, Biggie's wife, got dragged in as an alleged accomplice. According to Keefe D, Faith was in on Diddy's plot to assassinate Tupac. After the hit on the West Coast rapper, Keefe D supposedly called up Diddy and Evans, implicating them in the death. Detective Greg Kading shed light on Diddy's apparent reluctance to cough up the cash to Keefe D, who was already on the FBI's radar. Diddy, according to Kading, was keen on avoiding any direct links with Keefe D, he pointed out, aware that the FBI has been watching him out here in Los Angeles, and the last thing he wants to do is be directly associated with this guy that he's had disagreement with. Pulling back the curtain a bit further, Keefe D suggested that the real driver behind Tupac's murder wasn't just the rapper himself, but the looming shadow of Suge Knight that Diddy feared. The enmity between Diddy and Suge Knight was a well-known secret in the industry, but the extreme measures that Diddy supposedly took came as a shock to many. So what we have, the intricate web surrounding Tupac's murder becomes even more entangled with tales of informants, eavesdropping, and repeated raids on gang safehouses. With Keefe D's revelations painting a vivid, dangerous backdrop, one can't help but get a chill about the treacherous terrain that framed the murder of one of rap's greatest legends. The murky waters of Tupac's murder continue to swirl with these allegations, and the claims made by Suge certainly add another layer of intrigue to this ongoing mystery. The question still lingers. What really happened on that fateful September night, and how did it alter the course of hip-hop forever? As we wait for more revelations from Suge's upcoming interviews, one thing is certain, this saga is far from over. All right, folks, this wraps up another deep dive into the world of rap mysteries. But now, I want to hear from you. Do you think Diddy could really be involved in Tupac and Biggie's deaths? Or is this just another wild conspiracy? Thank you all for tuning in and joining me on this wild ride through the fascinating world of celebrity rumors. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and smash that like button. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss out on the latest updates. Until next time, stay curious, stay entertained, and keep those comments coming. Peace out.